Never put great, hello, relationships in the ecosystem. So, who could tell me what relationship I am describing in this picture? Predation. What is that? By definition. Good. When one organism actively hunts another. Which is the one that is the hunter? Predator. And prey is the other one. Being hunted. Good. Oh, and the picture? Symbiosis. Anybody know what that means?
Oh, like the synchronization of animals in the ecosystem. How organisms interact to help one another.
They do interact, and they actually evolve to live closely together. So it's not just interaction. They're at the point where if they're not together, they require each other in some capacity. Correct. Correct. I think I might have that picture. Let's see. Moving on. So the first one is called mutualism. Close. It's not a rhino, but right. What's happening? They both benefit. Good. This is a relationship where two species live closely together and both benefit from each other. This picture, you see a woodpecker and an impala, and where's the benefit?
The impala protects the woodpecker.
Somewhat, and also gives it food because it's feeding off bugs that are on the impala. And the pollination that usually is probably the best example of mutualism. You know, any type of pollination where the organism, you know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. Keep moving on. Commensalism. This was yours, and I didn't cover it. One benefits and the other's indifferent. And the example is shark and remora. The fish is called the remora. I always say, I wonder if the shark even knows the remora is there, right? Because maybe it doesn't. The remora gets protection and all the scrappy leftover food because the shark is such a messy feeder, and the shark really gets nothing from that relationship. And you got to know this. Epiphytes, have we talked about that yet? They're called air plants. An orchid is an example of an epiphyte. When you see like a plant hanging, and if you zoom into this picture, you see the plant kind of extending out of the tree. It's doing nothing to the tree. What's it getting in return? Water that trickles down the tree. So it's kind of, or some kind of nutrients maybe. So that's how it's commensalism. Next relationship, parasitism. What's happening here? One benefits and the other's harmed. Good. How is this different from predation? There's a host. They need the other to be alive. In order to be alive, they have to live closely together. Whereas predator and prey, it can be a necessity, but since a lot of predators have more than one target for their prey, it's not like they don't live in the same area. They need to find each other, so it's kind of different. Amensalism. These are probably the two you've never heard of, and they're highly debatable actually in science. So amensalism, what's left? And neutralism. See if you could come up with what's left.
The relation between biotic and abiotic.
Nope, this is all living things. They're both bad or both good, or keep going. Not affected, so neither benefit. Talk about strange, right? Neither benefit or get harmed. So they kind of just hang out and they have to be together because that's where they get the symbiotic name from. In amensalism, one organism gets nothing and the other one gets harmed. I call it the selfish one. I'm harming you and I'm not even getting anything in return. And the example here is the black walnut. It actually secretes a chemical that kind of harms all the other plants in its area, even though the other plant isn't competing for food or resources or sharing niches of any kind. So it's a strange release. What's happening here? Competition. Good. Look at the pictures and tell me, why does competition occur? Not enough resources. You're basically struggling to survive because the resources are limited, and resources can be anything from another organism to, from biotic to abiotic factors. Those are resources. Always remember that. Look at these pictures and tell me what you see different. And those are the two types of competition. What's different about them?
One of them defining other, zero, and they're fighting together against the board.
Well,
Like in one species compared to against a different species.
good. It's basically competition amongst the same species or competition amongst different. Same, think of the letter A, intra. Intra-specific is same. For different, okay? Use a positive or a negative sign to kind of narrow down these relationships I just talked about, okay? So neutralism would be what?
Zero.
Zeros, good. No sign, because there's no effect. Competition. I would say that's a good answer, but it's actually negative, negative, because if you're competing for a resource, something's wrong to begin with, right? Commensalism. Nope. Positive, zero, good. One is benefiting, the other's neutral. Amensalism. Zero, negative. Yep, negative, zero, or zero, negative. Mutualism. Positive, positive. Predation. Positive, negative. And which one's missing? Parasites, which could pretty much go with predation. Symbiosis describes all of these relationships, including parasitism. One benefits and the other's harmed.